Something terrible is about to happen. The ground near Hawaii's Mauna Loa volcano is shaking. What does it mean? Is this a sign of destruction? Will the world's largest volcano erupt? To find out what's going on there and why we need to be prepared, stay tuned to our video on the Earth mysteries. But before we begin, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Mauna Loa, the iconic volcano located on Hawaii's Big Island and the world's largest active volcano, is experiencing ground shaking and swelling. The volcano Mauna Loa is no stranger to eruptions, with Hawaiian authorities warning that the volcano is in a heightened state of disturbance. The shaking is a sign, according to the scientists, that it may erupt at any moment. However, they do not anticipate that this would happen immediately away. In any case, the authorities on the island are warning the locals to make sure they are well prepared. What is Mauna Loa? The Big Island of Hawaii is the southernmost island in the Hawaiian archipelago, and it is comprised of a total of 5 different volcanoes, one of which is Mauna Loa. The volcano is not the tallest one on the island. Mauna Kea holds that distinction. However, it is the largest one and makes up approximately half of the island's landmass. Mauna Loa is located just to the north of the Kilauea volcano, which is producing lava flows from its summit crater at the present time. Kilauea is well known for its eruption in 2018, which was responsible for the destruction of 700 homes and the flow of rivers of lava across farms and into the ocean. When was the last time the volcano erupted? The last volcanic eruption on Mauna Loa occurred 38 years ago. Since written history began in 1843, there have been 33 eruptions of this volcano. What would an eruption look like? In part due to its greater height, Mauna Loa's eruptions are distinct from those of Kilauea. Because of its larger height, it has steeper slopes, which enables lava to stream down its hillsides at a faster rate than it does on Kilauea. Because of its massive size, it may potentially hold more magma, which would result in more extensive lava flows in the event of an eruption. According to Frank Truesdell, a research geologist at the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory, which is part of the United States Geological Survey, evidence suggested that Mauna Loa has a far larger magma reservoir than Kilauea, which may allow it to contain more lava and rest longer between eruptions than Kilauea. Where exactly would the Mauna Loa volcano erupt? There is no way for scientists to know until the eruption actually starts. Since 1843, each eruption began near the peak of the volcano. During almost half of all volcanic eruptions, the volcano eventually started spewing ash and lava from vents located at lower elevations. When and where Mauna Loa will create new vents and erupt cannot be predicted with any degree of accuracy by scientists very far in advance. In most cases, vents will appear along the rift zone of the volcano. There, on that portion of the mountain is beginning to break apart, the rock is broken and relatively fragile, and it is much simpler for magma to erupt. In the western part of the island, there are residential towns, coffee farms, and coastal villages that could be impacted by an eruption from vents located in the southwest rift zone. In a matter of hours or days, lava could reach people's houses. As long as there is another active volcano nearby, the most populous town on the island's western side will be safe from any eruptions that Mauna Loa may produce. The expansive slopes of that volcano, Hualalai, which are located between the southwest rift zone of Mauna Loa and Kailua Kona, are in a position to deflect any lava that might be moving in the direction of the coastal community. Lava from an eruption in the northeastern rift zone might potentially go toward Hilo, the county capital, and other communities in the East Hawaii region. On this side of the mountain, it might take the lava a few weeks or even a few months to get to populous regions. According to a geologist from the University of Hawaii at Manoa named Scott Rowland, there is no consistent pattern that can be used to predict where an eruption would take place. He stated that just because the most recent one occurred in the northeast rift zone does not guarantee that the upcoming one will occur in the southwest rift zone. Will Mauna Loa have an explosive eruption? In the year 1980, 57 people were killed when Mount St. Helens in the state of Washington erupted and blasted more than 1,300 feet off the summit of the mountain. Rocks, steam, and volcanic gas erupted upward and outward from the volcano. The ash from the volcano fell as far as 250 miles away, after rising to an altitude of almost 80,000 feet in the air. In comparison to the eruption that took place on Krakatoa in 1883, the one that took place on Hungaha'apai in January was just one-third as large. The eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815 was significantly more powerful than the previous one, and it may have produced more than 1,000 megatons of energy. The height of a volcanic eruption that is as tall as the one that occurred at Hungaha'apai is surprisingly difficult to quantify. Because of this, once a plume has broken through the stratosphere, the atmospheric layer that comes before the mesosphere, the temperature begins to behave erratically, and it is no longer possible to measure the height of the plume by using the high temperature at the top of the plume. In order for the researchers to accurately pinpoint the location of the plume's conclusion, they were forced to make use of a number of different weather satellites and apply the parallax effect to the resulting photos. Also, they were only able to figure out the height the way they did using the parallax method because they have good satellite coverage now. A decade or so ago, it wouldn't have been possible. According to Professor Fred Jordan, a volcanologist at Curtin University, the eruption of the volcano in Tonga was very similar to an eruption at Mount Pinatubo in terms of the size of the ash cloud and the amount of ash that fell, except for one thing. In the Tonga eruption, there was a lot less sulfur dioxide, which is called a chill house gas because it can cool the air. So we can expect the Tonga eruption to have less of a cooling effect than the Pinatubo eruption did, which was minus 0.1 degrees Celsius globally due to the eruption. This could be because the island was pretty far away from other places. Now, if you compare Tonga and Pinatubo to Krakatoa's eruption in 1883, they are 2 to 3 times smaller. In any case, Tambora's 1815 eruption, which was an order of magnitude stronger than Tonga's, was the biggest in recent history. The volcanoes of Hawaii are not known for their particularly violent eruptions. According to Hannah Dieterich, a research geophysicist at the Alaska Volcano Observatory of the United States Geological Survey, this is due to the fact that the magma in these volcanoes is hotter, drier, and more fluid. It is far more likely for the magma in Mount St. Helens to explode when it rises because it has a tendency to be stickier and to hold more gas than other magma. Whenever one of Hawaii's volcanoes erupts, a gas that is contained within the magma has a tendency to escape, and this is followed by lava running down the slopes of the mountains. Because consecutive lava flows over the course of hundreds of thousands of years form broad mountains that mimic the shape of a warrior's shield, the volcanoes of Hawaii are referred to as shield volcanoes. Composite or stratovolcanoes are the terms used to describe volcanoes like Mount St. Helens. The eruption of viscous lava flows and rock, ash, and gas contributed to the formation of their precipitous conical slopes. How exactly do the scientists keep an eye on the volcano? More than 60 global positioning system (GPS) stations have been installed on Mauna Loa by the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory. These stations collect data in order to provide an estimate of the location and amount of magma that is collected under the surface. Tiltmeters are used by researchers to monitor long-term changes in the inclination of the ground, which enables them to determine whether or not the ground is expanding or contracting. A sudden shift in tilt can provide an early warning that an eruption is about to take place. The summit of Mauna Loa is also equipped with a thermal wet gun that can detect the presence of heat, and satellite radar can tell when the ground is getting bigger or smaller. That's all for the video. Feel free to let us know what you think about this video. We will be back with more such fascinating discoveries. All you have to do is press that like button and don't forget to subscribe.